Welcome everyone to the MGM Resorts NBA Summer League from Las Vegas, Nevada. Day 7 out here in Las Vegas, and the run is starting to get much more intense. It's the Battle of Los Angeles, a couple of franchises about 4 hours west of here on I-15 going head-to-head here in the desert. Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Clippers with a quarterfinal berth on the line here in tournament play. Mark Jones, Doris Burke chopping it up. Cassidy Hubbard joining us in just a bit. Doris, let's start with the Los Angeles Lakers. When Josh Hart sat down for his exit meeting at the end of the regular season in April, he told the coaches, I plan on showing up at Summer League and I plan on playing well enough to become the Summer League MVP. He stated his intention, and he's living it out right now.
It has played out because everything the Lakers organization challenged Josh Hart to do, he has delivered on. We knew that this is a guy who could defend across multiple positions, 2, 3, 4 if necessary, go down and guard in the post. But this is what they wanted to know. Could he command the floor? Could he create his own offense? In pick and roll, could he make excellent decisions? Could he become an efficient shooter? He has delivered on every promise, and he's done it consistently. Look at the numbers and the efficiency.
Los Angeles Lakers Summer League team has had a good time at the offensive end. 3-0 coming into play today, and Josh Hart has had a lot of help when it comes to some of the other guys doing the heavy lifting at the offensive end.
Well, Svi Mykhailiuk has been absolutely outstanding, and he's more than just a shooter, but he is electric as a shooter, Svi Mykhailiuk. And listen, you talked about the contract they gave him. He earned every bit of it.
Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Clippers, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jerome Robinson, their 2 lottery picks, not going to play today. But when you look at the Los Angeles Clippers, they've got a roster here that's determined to try and do something, and they've been playing pretty well. Gilgeous-Alexander not playing. They've said that he's played a lot of basketball over the last several weeks. They're going to shut him down today.
Well, what they love about this young man is his length at the point guard position. He might just be the best point guard here, Mark. He's got incredible length. He's got an ability, as you see here, to go off the pick and roll, use that length and speed and athleticism to get to the basket. And along with Jerome Robinson, who's a little bit older, played a little bit more time at Boston College, 2 guys who've shot it pretty well and contributed in other areas.
Let's go courtside to Cassidy for more. Cass?
Yeah, Mark, actually, both LA teams will be without their first round draft picks in this game. As you mentioned, Shai is going to be out with rest. Jerome Robinson has a left ankle injury. Actually, the team said he could go, but they're just trying to be cautious with him. As for the Lakers, their 25th pick, Mo Wagner, is out for the rest of Summer League with a knee contusion. He left Tuesday's game with the injury. He also sustained an ankle injury in that game, but the team said they're not concerned going forward with his injuries, guys.
All right, well, the Los Angeles Lakers, the reigning MGM Resorts NBA Summer League champions, and trying to defend their title here today. The Los Angeles Lakers starting Alex Caruso, Mykhailiuk, Jeff Ayers, Jonathan Williams, and Josh Hart. Lots of Laker fans in the house. Purple and gold everywhere throughout the last week. They are not shy and not reluctant to make the trek from Los Angeles, and not just Los Angeles, but all parts. And we've seen a lot of those number 23 Laker jerseys already. Soon to be one of the most popular selling jerseys on the planet, with the announcement that LeBron James is going to be joining the squad through free agency. Josh Hart, one of the top scorers in Summer League, averaging over 23 points per game on 48% shooting. Joined by Caruso, Ayers, Mykhailiuk, and Williams. Meanwhile, in the backcourt for the Clippers, it's Evans, Thornwell, Desi Rodriguez. Reggie Upshaw had a huge game a couple of nights ago. And Angel Delgado gobbling up offensive rebounds for the Los Angeles Clippers. And we are underway. Evans up court for LA. Here's Thornwell. Ball switching sides well for the Clippers. Thornwell from downtown. Zendarius Thornwell played in a bunch of games, 73 games for the Clippers last season. Soon to be a second-year pro out of South Carolina. Caruso getting downhill, kicks it out to Hart. Good defense by the Clippers on this possession. A contested 3 hits nothing but air for Caruso.
I loved his effort the other night, Mark. Took a charge late in game. Did a great job setting his teammates. Was opportunistic with his chances offensively.
Hey, it was a little over a year ago at this time that Alex Caruso played himself into a two-way contract with the Los Angeles Lakers. Delgado bullying his way inside, couldn't cash over Ayers. Back comes Caruso. Mentioned the story before. Had played in the G League with the OKC affiliate. Mikhailuk has been doing a lot of that here in Las Vegas this summer.
He's got a quick trigger.
And a steal by Caruso in the open court. Lost the handle, and the Clippers retain possession. I talked about Caruso, how after he finished playing with the G League affiliate of OKC, didn't have any specific offers or plans. Got a phone call randomly from the Lakers inviting him to training camp. As Delgado tips it in, he was impressive in training camp. Subsequent to that, even more impressive in Summer League here in Las Vegas, and earned himself a two-way contract and got big-time minutes with the big club.
But you see, Mikhailuk is more than just a shooter, right? And when he starts to make a couple shots, you got to close hard to him.
Reggie Upshaw on the drive and kick. Upshaw had a 20-point game a couple of nights ago. 24, in fact, in their win.
Well, out of Kansas by way of the Ukraine. There's the quick trigger three. But he's talked about this, and the Lakers have also talked about this, Mark. He's more than just a shooter. Puts it on the deck. It's nice, easy one at the cup.
Yeah, tell me about that little wrong foot layup, Doris Burke.
You see that all the time in the NBA, right? Almost seems like a necessary part of your arsenal.
And that's going to be an offensive foul, Doris, against Ayers. Ayers formerly out of Arizona State, fourth-year pro.
Mark, you buy in Jerry West's argument that it wasn't a great feat to get LeBron in free agency, that he was going there. That was the
It doesn't matter what.
supposition.
Yeah, you know what? I disagree with him. You know what? Even if it was a situation where he was going there anyway, it's still a great get. In any context, when the best player on the planet joins your club, it's a great get. Doesn't matter how it happens.
I very respectfully disagree with the logo, because LeBron James does not suffer fools. He cares deeply about his legacy, and I don't believe if he did not trust Jeannie Buss and the ownership and the leadership of Magic and Rob, that he would entrust what has already been a legendary career to finish there. I just don't see it.
And Doris, we look at Lance Stevenson, another one of those signings by Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka, the brain trust of the Los Angeles Lakers. And interesting that Stevenson would mention recently that LeBron called him and said, hey, you know, I kind of like what you bring to the table. Let's do this thing in Los Angeles as Lakers.
Gave him the blessing. He got the Pope's blessing. And just to continue my point and your point, how many years straight did we see free agents say no to the Lakers?
Yes.
So to me, it is a monumental deal.
Definitely.
They closed the deal.
Talked about Russell Westbrook 2 years ago, not going to Los Angeles, and this year, Paul George, another Southern California native, not going to Los Angeles. 2 years ago, DeMar DeRozan from Los Angeles, not going to Los Angeles. LeBron James going to Los Angeles. Josh Hart gonna put it in bounds, put it in play for the Los Angeles Lakers. You know, I was speaking to one of the scouts around the NBA. He said you can make an argument, Doris, you'll love this, that Josh Hart might have been their best rookie last year in terms of overall consistency at both ends of the floor for LA last year.
Well, it certainly makes you wonder if he's upping his trade value with his performance here.
Miles Simon was glowing in his praise for Josh Hart. He has played extremely well here in Summer League, averaging over 23 points a game, 44% on his threes. He actually led the Lakers during the regular season in three-point shooting percentage. 7 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. A quarter-final berth on the line. We are deep into tournament play, and the turnover by Rodriguez. Here's Mikhailuk. Ayers on the roll. And rebounded by the Clippers. They've got numbers coming back the other way. Evans. Thornwell knocked out of bounds. It'll be Laker basketball. Talked a lot about Josh Hart, and Miles Simon said that he's been great even in practice, becoming more of a leader, more of a presence. That was part of the mandate here in Summer League for Josh Hart. Nice roll by Ayers for the slam.
Second consecutive play where Mykhailiuk, who we saw earlier create for himself after a made three, now twice in a row creates for somebody else. First one missed, second one make.
Evans off the screen.
Now he's rebounding the basketball. This is a multi-tool player right here.
Mykhailiuk, one of 11 Kansas players here in Las Vegas, part of Summer League. Corner jumper is wet.
And how about Mykhailiuk looking off, right? So he had gone to pick and roll and was featuring the post. That time it's a little look off to the corner.
The Clippers 1 of 8 from the field. The Lakers off to a great start here. Svi Mykhailiuk. Learn how to pronounce it, folks. Interesting dynamic when you look at the rivalry, if you want to call it that, between the Lakers and the Clippers through 71 to the time Chris Paul and the gang showed up in 2012. Remember, the Clippers used to be the Buffalo Braves back in the day. The winning percentage flipped when Chris Paul and Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan showed up. Sindarius Thornwell with the bucket underneath, and you get a feeling that the pendulum is swinging back now with LeBron James in purple and gold. Lakers leading by 6. Thornwell and Hart. Doris, that's going to be a nice matchup. Sindarius Thornwell, a pretty eager defender on the wing against Hart.
He's very competitive, Mark, and so he's going to try to challenge Josh. And a really good job by Josh. Just use a jump stop.
Good rebound by Thornwell. That's going to be a blocking foul against Mykhailiuk. You know, our friend Fraschilla told me a great story about Mykhailiuk as a 17-year-old playing in the World Cup, a basketball qualification for his native country, the Ukraine. And he got a chance to play against a lot of USA Basketball's best as a 17-year-old, and that proved to be an invaluable experience for him as he later signed at Kansas with Bill Self. Here's Evans out front. Rejecting the screen. Thornwell thinking about it. Good defense by Josh Hart. Boy, Upshaw with a great rebound, stick back, but he got it jacked. A whistle and a foul underneath.
So Thornwell tries to play quality D. Josh Hart misses a shot. Let's watch Josh do what Josh does, which is play exceptional defense. How about that challenge? Get down in a stance and make it hard.
Yeah, Miles Simon telling me earlier that Josh Hart has really set the tone on defense for this team. And interestingly enough, we did the game a few nights ago against Kevin Knox and the New York Knicks. When Kevin Knox got hot in the third quarter, as the fourth quarter began, Josh Hart walked down the bench to Miles Simon and said, "Hey, I got him. I got Kevin Knox." Rodriguez down court for the Clippers, still trailing by 6. Quick go by Reggie Upshaw. And cleared by the Lakers. Here's Caruso. Nice slip screen. Good offense by the Lakers, Doris.
A tremendous pass by Caruso. Yeah, really good read.
Thornwell. Casey Hill helping to coach the Clippers Summer League version.
Alex Caruso at 6'5" has got tremendous size, so he can see over the defense. The defense not doing a very good job in either situation, not pressuring the passer, not covering the slip.
Alex Caruso, fourth-year pro out of Texas A&M. Undrafted in 2016. Was all G League second team. Scored 19 points per game on 50% shooting from the field. Thornwell pops open. A little bit strong. And Hart with the board. The Lakers out to an 8-point lead here early in the first quarter. Hart!
Man, he's just
Sit down.
He is shooting with so much confidence, no hesitation off that screen.
Hart with his first field goal. And the Lakers up by 11 here. Little side pick and roll. Michino on the baseline. Well, the Lakers really closing out. Nothing on the shot clock. And that's going to be a shot clock violation.
Now you're talking about it, the pride Josh Hart is showing. He asks to be here. It's all about attitude at Summer League. Yes, you've got to have some skill, but if you're a second-year guy who got big-time minutes up at the big organization and you're still looking to get here, that is huge.
Yeah. Doris played 63 games for the Lakers last season. That's 5th most on the team. And we talked about it throughout the course of the week. Luke Walton watching. Those Villanova guys, when they come into the NBA, they're ready to play.
Oh, my goodness,
It's
yes.
plug and play for those cats.
Talking about championship pedigree, things building from the defensive end for Jay Wright.
Nice looking step back, halfway down and out. And that's going to be a traveling violation against Reggie Upshaw, the 4th turnover for the Clippers. Timeout. We'll come right back.
Coverage of MGM Resorts NBA Summer League 2018 is brought to you by Audi.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. I'm here with the 11th overall pick in this year's draft, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And Shai, you're not playing today. You're resting. First things first. You feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Well, you have been pretty good so far here in Vegas, averaging 19 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. What would you say? How would you sum up your time here so far in Vegas?
I've had a really good experience. I think the biggest thing is I've gotten better each and every game. I'm more comfortable with the new style of play, so I'm feeling good about myself.
And there was some talk from your coach about your shot selection and your mindset there. What improvements you want to make in your shots?
Just take the best shots for the team at all times. Sometimes they get a little selfish, I guess you could say, and take shots that I think I can make instead that are in the best interest of the team. And just remember that each trip down the floor.
Now, there's a lot of different point guards, variations of point guards in today's game. So how would you describe your play?
I guess I'm cerebral when I play. Not the most athletic or fast or shoot it the best, but I like to think I'm the smartest point guard out there every time I step on the floor.
I kind of buried the lead here because it's your birthday, your 20th birthday to be exact. So I guess it's a good day to rest. What are your plans for your big birthday?
Maybe hit Top Golf, I guess, tonight. Eat dinner with some family and friends, but nothing too crazy.
Did the team do anything special for you? I know some of your teammates were reminding me that it's your birthday.
Oh, no, nothing yet.
I mean, come on, they gotta step up.
Yeah, dang, Jerome, something.
No, it's his 20th birthday.
Hey, I got you, son. I got you.
You're no longer a teenager. You're starting a whole new phase of your life in the NBA. What are you looking forward to most about your NBA career?
It's just the game in itself. Playing basketball full time and not having to worry about anything else is going to be fun. It's something I've waited for this whole time.
Well, good luck the rest of the time here in Vegas and happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Back to you.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a 20-year-old in Las Vegas celebrating his birthday.
Smart man, Top
Yes.
Golf and dinner. I like it. Whether that's the plan or not, I like it.
Arguably the best player to come out of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, about 40 miles on the North Shore west of the city of Toronto, the industrial city of Hamilton. Used to be a big steel town back in the day. Type of city that likes to roll up his sleeves and do some nice manual labor, and he kind of reflects that blue-collar attitude.
I liked what he said. He considers himself perhaps the most cerebral. And if you talk to people inside the Clipper organization, I would say one of the things they told me is IQ is off the charts. They love his competitiveness. That's a nice looking move. But listen, you gotta think the game, right? That's the most important thing a point guard can do.
Speaking of point guards, Rattan Mays has shown moments of brilliance here for the Lakers. Formerly the New York Knicks G League affiliate, the Westchester Knicks. Averaged about 18 points a game there last year. Back to Gilgeous-Alexander. His story and his ascension to a starter at the University of Kentucky is a story that hasn't been told a lot. He came in as a backup. He was a reserve, but then had his opportunity, seized that point guard spot midway through the season, and never let go of it. Ended up being the second leading scorer on that team, only to Kevin Knox.
And some of that played out in practice, because Gilgeous-Alexander is the kind of kid that wanted to win every drill at Kentucky. They called him a special kid. I mean, think about how young he is. As Cassidy just said, just 20 years old. He's got to go to LA, find a place to live, settle into professional basketball.
Under a minute to go here. You know, speaking of context, Gilgeous-Alexander, 20 years old. Brandon Ingram, 20 years old.
20 years old. All right, on the other side of the break, because we can't have the discussion here, of all the young talent, and there's a lot of it, like Kyle Kuzma, how great a rookie season he had. Lonzo Ball with what he's proven to be able to do. Brandon Ingram. We got to talk about, if there's a trade to be made, Josh Hart, Svi.
I'm holding on to Brandon Ingram.
You are.
That's a good piece.
Yeah.
Second team All-Rookie a couple of seasons ago, a guy that is one of Luke Walton's favorites in terms of running the offense through him, likes to facilitate with him a lot.
What I like about all of the men that I just mentioned is I do think that they are all serious about the game. I think they are pursuing the right things in terms of, you know, working on their craft.
Right. There's a look at the youth in Los Angeles. Ingram 20, Kuzma 22, Lonzo Ball 20, and Josh Hart, the old guy, at 23. But you know, it's interesting, Doris, I always like to say young team, quote unquote, is a euphemism for not a winning team in the NBA.
Right.
You say you got a good young core, means you're still on the ascent and not close to becoming a championship contender. That could change with LeBron James in town this year. Rattan Mays on the drive. Holland inside, rising up. Lakers leading by 9. Little full court pressure, 3 to go. And the bucket good by Michino. David Michino from Guadalupe. The 39th pick overall in the draft at the buzzer makes it a 7-point game when we come back. Okay, we have more NBA Summer League action coming up next. Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Portland Trail Blazers. Streaming live on the ESPN app. You see number 32 in the rafters, Stacey Augmon, a.k.a. Plastic Man, a former member of the Portland Trail Blazers back in the day. What a defender he was, Doris.
They had some players. Larry Johnson, Greg Anthony,
Anderson Hunt. Here's Rattan Mays. Nice drive inside by X.
You're right, he's done some good things, Mark. His challenge at Florida State was always finding that balance between, you know, being that scoring point guard and becoming a true point guard.
Done a good job here in July. Lakers up the lead to 9. Isaac Bonga in the ball game for Los Angeles. Interesting prospect, second round pick out of Germany. Upshaw straight away, got it.
They like him, Mark.
Yeah, Reggie Upshaw Jr. out of Middle Tennessee State. He had 24 points last night. Take a look at the brackets here in knockout play. Lakers and Clippers. Chicago taking on Detroit. Lakers, one of the remaining undefeated teams in the tournament. They and the Portland Trail Blazers came into tournament play undefeated. Lakers, the reigning Summer League champs. Evans underneath. Great ball movement. Upshaw run off the three-point line. 4 on the shot clock. Boy, nice looking shot. Blizniuk with the bucket. The lead is down to 4. Lesniak out of Eastern Washington. Like Mikhailuk, a native of the Ukraine. Here's Ratan Mays now. Lesniak on the switch, picks him up. And Mays turns it over. Evans on the move, and that's going to be an offensive foul.
I just say this about DeMarcus Holland. That kid's energy and the defense he's willing to play. I mean, look at, he's in retreat. Watch him backpedal, anticipate, and get into space. That is really well done. He has played very high energy since he's checked into this ball game.
Holland out of Tyler, Texas, undrafted back in 2016. Finished 3rd in the G League in Defensive Player of the Year voting, so saw what he does at the defensive end there. Isaac Bonga all the way to the bucket and couldn't finish with the slam, but he drew the foul. Isaac Bonga, a guy that got onto the Lakers' radar at the turn of the new year. The brain trust of the Lakers, Rob Pelinka and Jesse Buss, traveling overseas to Germany to watch him play, and kind of caught their eye and became a little bit more intriguing. So they acquired him in the draft.
He's young, Mark,
yeah.
And he had, right before the start of this summer league, a very long trip. And remember the first night he checked in, he didn't look like he had his legs. But there's some things to like about that young man. He's aggressive, certainly on the offensive end.
He prepared for the draft in Los Angeles several weeks prior to the draft, and amazingly, the Lakers were the only team to work him out. Sounds like they might have stashed him away a little bit, or at least tried to keep him under wraps. 6-point lead. Wide open. Kings straight away. Yes. And the lead back up to 9. And a quiet night so far for Sindarius Thornwell of the Los Angeles Clippers. Whistle and a traveling violation.
Well, the King's job endures a lot of things. He's going to just try to make a defensive play there. Let me contribute to the gross domestic product here with the 3.
Mays. Bonga, and he traveled with it.
He does that a lot. That's a product of youth, right? And he's so anxious. He's just been with the team a few days. Miles had said to me, I'm going to put him out there. He hasn't had a ton of opportunity to practice with us, but we just want to let him get some run. And he's probably traveled 4 or 5 times. His mind's going fast and his body's going fast.
He was talking about the fact that Mo Wagner, being one of his teammates, has made his transition much easier to the NBA and the early going here in Summer League. Mays, nice dime underneath to Holland for the bucket.
Mays did a nice job.
Branch.
Yeah.
And the lead back up to double figures for the Los Angeles Lakers, courtesy of a 7-0 run. Evans missing everything. Hey, the Summer League tournament continued tonight in Las Vegas on NBA TV and the ESPN app. Utah, Orlando. Mo Bamba going to give you some more on that game. The Eiffel Tower piercing the skyline here in Las Vegas. How many times have you heard that? Back here at the MGM Resorts Summer League, Los Angeles Lakers leading the Clippers in this Battle of Los Angeles, an 11-point margin right now. Ratan Mays, a little bit strong off glass. There's a look at the guys on the floor. Thornwell, Evans, Rodriguez, Harris, and Delgado for the Clippers, having trouble scoring so far in this game. Thornwell with 6 points. Goes inside. Nice little jump hook by Delgado. from the Dominican Republic.
Nice.
On Cristobal Ursual of Seton Hall. He's got 4.
Nice patient move.
King, all that jelly and no toast. You know, speaking of the Los Angeles Clippers, I would contend and agree or disagree that when you consider, Doris, Pat Beverly was injured, Teodosic was injured, Gallinari missed a lot of the season, Blake was traded, Doc Rivers did arguably one of his best coaching jobs just to have them in contention for the playoffs at the end of the regular season. Agree or disagree?
100% agree. They were 42-40, finished 10th in the West. See Lawrence Frank, of course, a member of their front office. Sam Cassell on his staff. A little bit further down from Lawrence is Rex Kalamian, who is the defensive coordinator on Dwayne Casey's staff in Toronto. He's now moved to Los Angeles with Doc Rivers.
Mike Woodson no longer with the Clippers staff, but well, you talk about Doc, 11 consecutive winning seasons. The only other coach that can claim that distinction, Doris Burke,
Greg Popovich?
Greg Popovich.
Yeah.
So Doc in elite company right now as the Clippers try to claw their way back into this game. And
well, you got to give a lot of credit to Lou Williams, boy.
Yes.
Lou Williams had himself a year. 23 points per game, or just a shade under that.
Lou Williams got himself a new contract near the end of the regular season.
Correct. Many believed he could have easily been an all-star.
Yeah.
I'm still vying for 15 all-stars.
I like it too.
There are 3 all-NBA teams. And I get it, somebody will always be left out, but if there were 15, since there's 3 all-NBA teams, why not have 15 all-stars?
I agree.
You got a lot of guys who can't play around that time for a variety of reasons.
Invariably, we usually get a few injuries too.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
Los Angeles Clippers recently signing Mike Scott as a free agent from the Washington Wizards.
And Luc Mbah a Moute,
Yeah.
who ups their defensive presence on the wing.
Back again. How much do you think it's going to hurt Houston, if at all, that they lose 2 of their top wing defenders in Trevor Ariza and Mbah a Moute as well?
I think all of us have talked about that's a big loss, both of those men. As Thornwell tries to get to the free throw line and does. Here's why.
Yeah.
And this was an interesting discussion we had with Mike D'Antoni. It was, you know, when did you decide that you were going to switch across 5 positions? And Mike was in favor of it from the outset, but the staff thought, let's start 1 through 4. Well, you better have some switchable bodies out there if you're going to employ that kind of defense.
They still have Chris Paul, who is perennially an all-NBA, all-defensive team member, along with P.J. Tucker. But in losing those 2 other guys, Jeff Bzdelik's defense, Bzdelik, the defensive coordinator on that staff, takes a little bit of a hit, tangibly. And the Houston Rockets still trying to re-sign Clint Capella on the free agent market. Reports out there that he has turned down an $85 million free agent offer from Houston. That's going to be a jump ball between Ayers and Delgado. Sometimes when you re-sign your own guys, you have to consider that a win, because it doesn't always happen.
I saw a headline that said, Clint Capella, after he turned down that contract, Clint Capella has a Swiss bank account.
Moving that money on wires, huh? 5-point lead for the Lakers, under 5 minutes to go here in the first half. The winner moves on, the loser is done. But all of the 30 teams, in the first time ever that we've had participation from all 30 NBA clubs in Summer League play, the loser gets 1 more game. All teams guaranteed at least 5 contests, and that's how you finish on the break. That was Desi Rodriguez from the Bronx and Seton Hall University. Desi Rodriguez, one of their two-way contract players. That foul going to go against Sindarius Thornwell. Clippers in the middle of an 8-0 run, Doris, to cut this lead down to 3.
Rodriguez amongst the players that helped that Seton Hall program climb back up the Big East rankings.
Ayers rejected but fouled inside by Reggie Upshaw. And that's going to put Ayers back on the free throw line. Jeff Ayers out of Ontario, California, in Arizona State. 31st pick back in 2009. Knocks down his first free throw. G League All-Star back in 2016 as a member of the Lakers affiliate, the South Bay Lakers, and they have one of the better setups in the G League. I mean, there are guys that have practiced with the Lakers team, actually played a game for the South Bay Lakers, then been called up to the Los Angeles Lakers for another game that same day. And it's just a matter of time now before all 30 teams have their own affiliate.
And their own video game team.
Yes. you want the voice of that too?
That's a good question.
Hook me up, Doris Burke. Ayers with the rebound. A little bit of contact underneath, no call. King took a hit. Up high, and a nice dime by Michino.
Well, Delgado was the one who was responsible for the contact on one end defensively, so we're assuming he used that verticality and then got the bucket on the other one.
And Zendarius Thornwell said, "Give me that stuff," as he blocked Josh Hart. Those two have had a nice battle here in the first half.
You're enjoying that matchup.
I love guys that walk it and talk it. And those guys have been at each other at both ends of the floor. Thornwell played for Frank Martin at South Carolina. And Josh Hart rubbed him off a screen for the bucket, Doris.
He did.
Give him a little stare afterwards, too.
Just so smart, confident, great feel. You think about what this young man did as a starter. So he just takes a little brush screen out top. That goes right to the cup. Not great help defense. But, 23 starts for the Lakers. Josh was tremendous. He shot 49%. Averaged 13 points. He was 42% from 3. You were talking about how efficient he was from 3. His performance here shouldn't surprise any of us.
There's a look at Zendarius Thornwell. That's for the Clippers a moment ago. Said it was Rodriguez. It's actually Delgado that is their two-way player. Those two-way contracts have been very beneficial for the 30 NBA franchises and also for the players, because if they spend the maximum amount of days, I believe it's 45 in the NBA, with the prorated salaries for each of the leagues, the G League and the NBA, they can make up to $390,000.
How about that individual defense from Alex Caruso? Come on now.
Yeah. Little lockdown. Mikhailuk with a head of steam, rising up, and that's going to be a blocking foul against the Clippers.
We've got to give Caruso a little props. Listen, it's got to be good if we're going to a break with defense. Get down in a stance, anticipate. That was 2 stops he had. All right, Mr. Caruso, we'll give you a little love, my friend.
Los Angeles Lakers leading by 5, a quarterfinal berth on the line for one of these two teams. And Josh Hart, one of the Summer League leaders in points per game, averaging over 23 per. And right now you'd have to say he's in the running for Summer League MVP. Mikhailuk at the free throw line for the Los Angeles Lakers.
I had you as the MVP.
Oh, really?
I did.
Maybe the lunchtime run before the game starts.
Maybe Cassidy Hubbard might be the real MVP.
Cassidy holding it down on those roving interviews between here and Cox Pavilion next door. Climbing those stairs, Hart with the anticipation and elevation at the other end. He's got 7 in the ball game.
And the young man sweeping the floor better look out.
He almost got run over.
He almost got it.
Lead back up to 9 points for the Lakers. Michino from Guadalupe. Rodriguez from the corner. Nice corner 3 ball by Desi Rodriguez. First start of the summer last night in Summer League play. Had 5 points on 2 of 8. He's got 5 here tonight. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Caruso looking for the call. Won't get it. Clippers with numbers. Great dime by Thornwell, but Michino couldn't cash in. Mikhailuk up high on the alley-oop.
Okay, Mr. King. Understanding that Mikhailuk has a little verticality in his game.
Steve Mikhailuk came to Kansas as a 16-year-old, Bill Self told us, and actually turned 17 his freshman year. So for a guy like that, Doris, you'd figure staying 4 years at a great program like that really helps.
No
right?
doubt about it. Took him some time to get his confidence. All right, so let's watch Josh Hart do what Josh Hart does, and then look in your picture. Get off the floor, young man. Oh, man. And then in transition, I have to say this to you. When I was a kid, I grew up next to a park, so I used to go out there just by myself, play ball. And the older kids from the high school used to come. They're playing 5-on-5. And they'd kick me off like I was a gnat. And it used to annoy me, Mark. I used to get so annoyed. So when they would race down one end, I would get my ball and start playing. Nice job by Upshaw.
Get up a bunch of shots while
Get
they're
up
there.
a bunch of shots, because first of all, they were okay.
Right.
I'm going to continue the
Got to give
story.
you some court time, man.
Yeah, so listen, nice job by Upshaw. Nice little jump stop. And one. I think Mr. King disagrees.
Tell me about your story now.
So
What's going on the other end?
Now the star quarterback comes down. This dude's like 6'4", 200 pounds.
Right.
They are full steam at me. I'm like 7 years old. The dude scoops me up. I've got the ball in my hands. He lets me put it in the basket.
Oh, wow. I thought that had a bad ending.
It could have. It could have been disastrous.
I thought there were some broken bones on the other end of that story. Williams underneath, battling against Upshaw.
His name was Mark Lockemeyer. He played.
Where did he play?
He played baseball and football
Okay.
at Princeton. Was a great quarterback at Manasquan High School.
So he was an Ivy League guy. He was smart enough to scoop you
He
up.
scooped me up,
Okay.
and we both went into the High School Hall of Fame together. And he said, "Do you happen to remember that?" I said, "Hell yes! How am I going to forget you scooping me up because I'm trying to shoot shots on one end of the floor."
Hart off the screen into the paint. Hart looks at the official, won't get the call. Jonathan Sterling says play on, and the Clippers get one at the other end. Nice finish by Desi Rodriguez, rookie out of Seton Hall. All Big East second team a season ago. He's got 7 points, and they're back to within 4.
Well, he's done some nice things, Desi Rodriguez.
Speaking with Rex Kalamian, new assistant coach for the Los Angeles Clippers, really liked his game, especially his ability to shoot the corner 3, which we saw him make moments ago. About a 9-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Hart with the left hand.
Man.
Sweet finish. He's got 9. Rodriguez wheeling inside. A little bit of jelly from Rodriguez.
And a nice steal.
Lisniak inside. And that's the end of the first half of play. The Los Angeles Lakers led by double digits. The Clippers battled back behind Rodriguez.
Desi Rodriguez says, "Mark Jones, I got more than a corner 3 in my game."
And timeout on the floor. Big halftime coming up. This game heating up with a quarterfinal berth on the line. Josh Hart with a strong finish. He's got 9 points for the Lakers. Rodriguez doing the same at the other end for the Clippers. Cassidy and Fran Fraschilla on the other side of this. Berth on the line for these two teams. The Lakers, one of 2 undefeated teams remaining. The Lakers at 3-0 coming into this one. Josh Hart, Doris, leading the way.
Looks like he's been there, done that. And in fact, he has for the real Lakers. Thornwell trying to hold his jersey, but he just curls right to the cup. Caruso puts it perfectly. We know this. This is a high-level defender, cross-positional defender. And he has been dynamite in Las Vegas. It suits him out here. The desert suits Josh Hart.
I love what Fran Fraschilla said about him. He's a schoolyard bully.
Yeah, he
was here last year.
He looks like a bully.
And he come back to beat guys up again. Third quarter underway between the Lakers and Clippers. And here's Reggie Upshaw. Up high, Thornwell knew he didn't have an opportunity and wisely tipped it out to Evans. Little floater is no good. And rebounded by Ayers. Caruso with that little Chris Paul sleight of hand move. Mykhailiuk missing the corner three. Here's Rodriguez. Rodriguez had a nice first half, 9 points for the Los Angeles Clippers. And here he is on cue from downtown. Nice battle underneath. Angel Delgado out of Seton Hall as well. Fouled underneath, going for the rebound. Clipper basketball. A 4-point lead is, that's official Jonathan Sterling. Jacksonville native. Used to play and hoop a lot at Jacksonville University. And interestingly enough, his wife is an official as well. NBA official.
If there's a Florida association, you're getting it on the air.
There's always a Florida connection, Doris. Alex Caruso with a nice looking pull-up. Six-point lead for the Clippers.
I like that his wife is an official.
Yes.
The household can be equally unpopular.
It's a lot of authority under one roof, right?
Oh, boy.
Equally unpopular. I love that. And we have a Clipper player down. That's Angel Delgado. He's going to try and walk it off and come off under his own power as Casey Hill, the summer league coach for the Clippers, watches. He doesn't want to come out.
He's got the mismatch. He feels it. He knows it with Alex Caruso down there. The help comes over.
Well, it looked like he bumped knees.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is as painful as it gets. Good defense by Jawan Evans. Rex Kalamian was telling us about his defensive prowess. Likes to pick guys up 94 feet. He set the tenor for that whole steal at the defensive end.
He sure did. No doubt about it. Caruso a little bit frustrated with the lack of calls. He keeps looking at Miles Simon. Miles is having a conversation with the official as well.
That's one of those deals. You look at your arm and look at the official like, hey,
yeah,
how do you think I got that blood?
Yeah, do you think that scratch mark got there on its own?
Miles Simon has done a great job on the sidelines for the Los Angeles Lakers Summer League edition. Member of Luke Walton's staff, also from the University of Arizona. As Thornwell lost it, ball out of bounds. A little sloppy play here by both teams early in the third quarter.
Looks like Caruso banged that left thumb that's all taped up. 10 different Lakers have scored.
We talked about it a little bit earlier too, Doris. Miles Simon is a big part of the reason why those young Laker players, Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, enjoyed a good measure of success this year. He put in a lot of time pre-game, post-game on player development with those guys, and Mykhailiuk is likely to join that young group this year. 11 points from Mykhailiuk.
Love that off the bounce game. I'll tell you what, if you don't get Miles Simon a raise by the time you leave Las Vegas, I'm going to be stunned.
8-point lead. Lakers have numbers. Little floater by King. Tipped up, no good, and here come the Clippers. Evans calls out the set. Thornwell off the screen. Nice move with the left. Sindarius Thornwell.
When he decides to go, Mark, he is going to go, and with authority.
Out of Lancaster, South Carolina. Thornwell with 10 points. Played for Frank Martin at the University of South Carolina. I had the chance to watch him play as a high school senior in the South Carolina Pro-Am down in Columbia, South Carolina. And even as a 17, 18-year-old, he showed a lot of promise and poise against grown men in a hot, sweaty gym in Columbia that had no AC. He was out there balling.
What were you doing there? Your son?
Hanging out with my son, Shea Jones, who was a college basketball player at the time. Spent a lot of time in gyms, Doris.
You have. Your whole life, I think, has been spent in a gym, which is a good place to be.
Nothing better than hoops in the summer, especially here in Las Vegas. Had a great time here during the week. Warren Legary, Albert Hall have made this summer league something that nobody envisioned a decade ago. We have participation from all 30 teams for the first time ever. 82 games, every single one of them broadcast on television. And it'll culminate with the championship game on Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Josh Hart with another bucket off glass. He's got 14, starting to percolate here in the desert. The Lakers leading by 11 points.
He's more than a 3-and-D guy now, isn't he? He saw the open lane, met some resistance at the rim. It didn't matter. Josh Hart playing well.
Los Angeles Lakers leading by 11. There was a game during the regular season this year that the Lakers played in. Josh Hart, it was one of his string of double-digit rebounding games, and I asked him about it afterwards, and he said, you know, Mark, I was just getting my Charles Barkley on. So, Doris, going to break, you were talking about the fact that he's more than just a 3-and-D guy. We saw him penetrate and score. He does it rebounding as well.
He does.
14 points, 3 boards in this game.
I like that he can switch in smaller lineups. To me, a great attribute of somebody like Josh. He can go down and guard that small ball, a 4-player in the post. He's excellent down there.
Mikhailuk from deep, and a rare miss for him. Big-time rebound underneath by the Clippers. Meanwhile, next door tie game between the Spurs and the Bucks. The Bucks, the 14 seed. San Antonio, the 19 seed, with 11 seconds to go. On a live look in here next door to Cox Pavilion. The winner moves on, and the Spurs unable to score. Finding Parantas there. That would be the first overtime game this year. Should that one end in a tie, and it looks like it has. As time expires, we'll keep an eye on that. Get you back across the way between those two teams. Here's Rodriguez out front. Back out front to Rodriguez, rimming out. Mikhailuk. Hart goes quick, and an athletic and one. Josh Hart hitting him hard.
I'll tell you what now, Mikhailuk rebounded the basketball, pushing it ahead off his rake and take. Opposite side of the floor, he spots Josh Hart. He spots defenders out of position. And a great move by Josh. I thought he was going to have to go under and try to go opposite side, but he's able athletically to control his body.
Tell you what, a lot of rookies, Doris, come into the NBA, and the first thing the athletic training staff does is look at their body and stick them in the weight room. I'm not sure that the Lakers had that kind of concern with Josh Hart.
No. He's got 17, Mark. Really efficient 17 and playing very good defense as well.
Thornwell continuing to struggle from outside for the Clippers. Four and a half minutes to go. Lakers still leading big time by double digits, 14. Thornwell goes quick.
He tries to play a little bully ball, doesn't he, Mark?
Yeah.
He gets close to the cup. He's looking to use that strength to get you off his body. It's almost like he's hunting that more than focusing on finishing.
Great point. Williams inside off the nice spin move. And the lead is up to 16 points for Los Angeles with a little over 4 minutes to go. 14-2 run for LA, undefeated in Summer League play. Thornwell back out to Reggie Upshaw, who misfires. And another rebound for Mykhailiuk. Oh, that's a lot of sauce. Mykhailiuk got it!
Tell you what, boys, rebounding his position, pushing in transition, making some good decisions. Laker fans saying, better check that guy.
Lance Stevenson loved it.
3 rebounds. I feel like Mykhailiuk's got more than 3.
Yeah,
4 assists.
Sure feels like it, doesn't Doris?
So we've seen a couple this half.
Hey, Mykhailiuk's got more jelly in his game than people think. Hit nothing but net there. Recently signed just 48 hours ago his official Los Angeles Lakers contract.
Can you imagine what that feels like? How cool is that for that kid?
Born in the Ukraine, comes to America as a 16-year-old, lives in middle America from Lawrence, Kansas to Los Angeles. Both ends of the spectrum in terms of demographic of our country. Both ends of them great. A young man living out his dream. Folks, the WNBA is in full swing. Don't miss a minute of the action. Catch it live by getting your tickets today, WNBA.com/tickets. I'm still waiting for Asia Wilson of the Aces. That's the Aces jersey featured prominently downtown here on the Statue of Liberty.
To get you a ticket to
She
the game.
promised me a couple tickets, and I'm still waiting for her to hit me up.
I'm taking the red eye back east. You know what I'm doing tomorrow night? Going to see Diana Taurasi play the Connecticut Sun. But I had my hookup.
You got yours?
Rebecca Lobo.
Oh, okay. That's a company deal right there.
That is a company deal. I want to see Diana Taurasi before she retires. I watched her win 3 national championships at UConn straight.
One of the best to ever do it. It was interesting to hear DeAndre Ayton, the rookie for the Suns, meet her and say, man, I just met the Michael Jordan of women's basketball.
That's right. She didn't disagree with that.
No,
Lakers.
He was starstruck, as we are sometimes too. Welcome back, everyone, to Las Vegas, the MGM Resorts NBA Summer League Tournament play, Day 2. Lakers leading the Clippers here at Thomas and Mack. Meanwhile, one of the great parts about Summer League, you can walk across the concourse, get to Cox Pavilion, where right now it's a 3-point lead for Milwaukee against the Spurs in overtime with 1:12 to play in Summer League's first overtime game this year. Winner of that game moves on to the quarterfinals. Milwaukee the 14th seed, San Antonio the 19th seed. The top 2 seeds were Portland and Los Angeles. They got first round byes. Everyone else forced to slug it out in tournament bracket play. Milwaukee now leading by 5 with under a minute to go. Back here, the Lakers leading by 18. Mark Jones chopping it up courtside with Doris Burke and Cassidy Hubbard on day 7 as Michino out of Guadalupe gets the bucket to go. When I think about Guadalupean basketball players,
What's coming?
Mikel Petrus, a native of Guadalupe.
Wow. I didn't know that.
My man, MP. Had some good years in the NBA with the Orlando Magic. Nice 3-and-D guy, the Golden State Warriors.
What do you make of the Wayne Ellington signing for the Miami Heat?
Yeah, big news just coming across as the 3-point shooter for the Heat signs a 1-year, $6.27 million deal. He really got a boost to his career in Miami, getting in great shape like so many Heat players do under Bill Ferrand, the strength and conditioning guru.
Nice move by Wimbush. Boy, fast to the cup.
They have the lead down to 14 points, but the Miami Heat, a team heavy on two guards and wings right now, is going to be interesting to see how that all pans out. Ellington hit a record for threes this year off the bench for the Miami Heat. And it's final next door. Milwaukee will advance by virtue of an 83-75 win against the San Antonio Spurs. Nice baseline pass, but it went out of bounds.
You know what that makes me wonder?
What's that?
Do the Spurs now leave, or does that mean they play consolation tomorrow?
They got one more to go. Teams guaranteed 5 games. That was their 4th.
I'm always wondering, like, any team that is in the rumor mill, do you have to duck and are you walking fast, ducking and covering while you're here?
They have a way of being clandestine when they want to be. Everybody waiting for that other shoe to drop as far as the San Antonio Spurs go, if it will at all, because we've talked about it a lot during Summer League with reference to the Kawhi Leonard situation. Contractually, it's the Spurs that have the hammer and the leverage. Wimbush on the drive.
You're going to force another discussion here because keep saying
you don't think so.
They got the hammer and the leverage. What leverage if he is going to depart a year from now for nothing?
Well, I guess leverage in the sense that San Antonio's not going to give him away without getting something extremely valuable in return.
Fair point. I accept that.
Yeah. They're not just going to take somebody. They're going to take someone. This game down to a 10-point game. The Lakers with the lead. Wimbush at the free throw line.
The offense has come in fits and starts for Los Angeles Clippers.
Wimbush goes 1 for 2. Rattan Mays up court for the Los Angeles Lakers. Former backcourt star at Florida State for Leonard Hamilton and Stan Jones. Had it knocked out of bounds. It'll stay Lakers basketball. Talked about that one game that Rattan Mays had for Florida State where he had, I think it was 30-odd points in the last quarter of the ball game, or at least the last 10 or so minutes. He can score, but he's transitioned to a point guard. A whistle and a foul against the Clippers. There was a lot of contact as Jonathan Williams drove the paint.
Rattan Mays spent the last couple of years at Florida State, in fact, trying to transition to point guard. He understood that his opportunity at the next level would be that. Got out of the gates at Florida State as a big-time scoring guard.
Remembered him as a 12-year-old staying in the Motel 6 during AAU tournaments with him. My son played on his AAU team. Harris with the board for the Clippers. Back come the Los Angeles Lakers with a 10-point lead. Straightaway 3. Here's Mays. Miles Simon with the play call. They're going to run this down. It's about equal between the shot and game clock. Nice escape dribble. Counted at the buzzer almost. Great offense by the Lakers. Jonathan Williams with the finish.
I was a little surprised Mikhailuk gave it up so fast. But you're right, nice little up fake, dunk down, overreaction defensively to the up fake, and that leads to that.
We talked about Jonathan Williams' unique story a couple of days ago. Played his first 2 seasons at Mizzou before transferring to Gonzaga after 2015. Was all conference in both leagues. Completes the 3-point play. He's got 8. And that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. The Los Angeles Lakers looking to advance to the quarterfinals and retain their Summer League title. Hey, we have have more Summer League action coming up next. The Atlanta Hawks taking on the undefeated and top seed Portland Trailblazers. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. I'm looking forward to seeing Portland. They've got some guys that are playing some really good basketball, and Cassidy has more on this game.
I'm glad you're going to be looking forward to seeing Portland, because the Hawks are going to be really short-handed as Trae Young will sit out of his first Summer League game due to rest. John Collins will also sit out after being held out the last 2 games. Jalen Adams out with a left ankle sprain. Tyler Dorsey out with a right groin tightness. As far as this game, Angel Delgado, we saw him bang knees earlier. He is out for the rest of the game with a right knee contusion, Mark.
Wow. I'm still trying to write all those names down, Cass. But Trae Young will not play tonight, and it's not unusual here in Las Vegas during Summer League to see guys get shut down midway through it.
I don't remember resting at 19.
It's a different day and age. We see it in the NBA now. It's very prominent. They call it maintenance these days. But a couple of years ago, I remember they shut down Ben Simmons. Brandon Ingram got shut down. Alex Caruso still playing. He's got 4. There's a look at Trae Young, and what a quality young man he is. A guy that is under that searing hot spotlight. So much overreaction earlier during Summer League when he put up a couple of 3 of 16 from the field games in the Utah Summer League. But then the last couple of games, he's really settled down and played more like himself and more like he's capable of playing.
Well, he had 5 assists and 2 baskets down the stretch of a 27-point comeback last night.
Yeah.
So I'd say he settled in. And what was intriguing to me is when Travis Schlenk and Lloyd Pierce both talked about him, so much is made of the range on his shooting as Alex Caruso takes a nice long one. But they say the thing that attracted them to Trae more than the shooting was his playmaking, passing ability, Mark.
Underrated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had that one game where a bunch of times, I think he hit double figures in assists, really got him going. You know, I was speaking recently with Irving Rowland, Oklahoma native and a coach and a member of the Houston Rockets coaching staff. He knows Trae. He's known Trae for a long time. He says he's one of the hardest working kids he's ever been around and has that swagger that you can't teach. And having a father that played at a high level was huge because he was able to teach Trae about being around high-level teachers and trainers and how to get that good work in. And that's a young man that sometimes when you have the DNA and the makeup, it's one thing, but when you have the character to go along with it, it enhances the ability.
Go back to some things that Al Horford and Joakim Noah, of course, whose dad was a great tennis player. When they were at Florida and then they started their professional careers, to a man, they said that having a dad who had played at the high level, in particular the professional level, it taught them early what was required in terms of work. So you love to hear that Trae has the capacity for work that's going to be necessary. And really, if you consider his 8 months, and today, 8 months to the day, he played his first college game. If you consider the highs and the lows in that 8 months, it's been a pretty incredible journey for that guy.
Did ESPN have every one of his games on this year?
It felt like it.
13-point ball game. As we approach 7.5 minutes to go, the Los Angeles Lakers trying to remain undefeated here. A little horn set by the Lakers and Miles Simon. Williams missing badly, rebounded by the Clippers. Holland took it back and got it back. And got just what he deserved, the result of his great hustle.
Yeah, terrific pass from Alex Caruso.
15-point lead. Nice spin move on the baseline by Delgado. Upshot cross court to a wide open Michino, and he drills the 3.
He's played pretty well. Checked in, giving him a little boost scoring.
Spent last season with Cholet, basket of the French Pro League. You know who owns or is part owner of a team in France, right? Tony Parker.
Tony Parker.
Asvel, who had a successful season. His father, Tony Parker Sr., also deeply involved in that squad. Tony Parker on the front end of a lot of French nationals doing well in the NBA. We talked about Michael Petrus a little bit earlier. Nick Batum, now Parker's teammate in Charlotte, the result of that free agent signing by Tony Parker. Petrus has an older brother that plays professionally in France as well, Rony Turiaf from Martinique. Wimbush at the free throw line.
Boris Diaw, NBA champion, espresso connoisseur.
Keeps the machine in his locker room stall. Here's Caruso. Clippers switching. Nice spin by Rattan Mays. That's going to be a foul against Thomas Wimbush from Fairmont State.
Josh Hart going to check back in with a 10-point lead, 6.5 to go.
Josh Hart with 17 points and 3 rebounds as the Lakers lead by double figures. Under 6.5 minutes to go, trying to put this game away. Rattan Mays with the loop. Ayers with the catch in the bucket.
Nice job by Ayers to come down with that.
6 points for Ayers. There's Reggie Upshaw from Middle Tennessee State, leaving it short. Upshaw had 24 points last night on 9 of 15 in their win. In his first 3 games, he had struggled, totaling just 19. Good defense by Rodriguez. 6 on the clock. Hart from deep. And Mays on the other end of that Caruso dime. 5.5 to go. The Lakers holding off the Clippers. Clippers without their 2 prized first rounders, Jerome Robinson and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who turns 20 today. Ayers, nice looking face up. What'd you do for your 20th birthday? It was just a couple years ago, right?
I'm going to try. You're going to make me think about that.
It's just yesterday. 16-point advantage. Thornwell that time was able to finish.
Yeah.
15 points for Sindarius Thornwell. You were still playing ball at 20 years old.
Yes,
Huh?
no
BC?
doubt, of course.
Okay. Hart fouled. Timeout on the floor. A look outside here at the Thomas & Mack Center at UNLV. And back in 1984, let's get you into the time machine. Utah Jazz, Los Angeles Lakers. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar set the record for career points, over 31,000, and he would have many, many more points. Endorsed to this day. Still consider that sky hook the most lethal weapon in all of professional sport.
Unguardable.
Unstoppable.
Absolutely unguardable. And to think it was in this building, like
Right.
that amazes me.
Yeah.
Of course, it was a magic assist because there was only 1 bounce. Not surprising there. And LeBron James, does he have a chance to pass that scoring mark, and would it be in a Laker uniform?
Wouldn't that be something? LeBron James showing no signs of slowing down in his 15th season. Desi Rodriguez with a bucket inside.
You can tell he's got a knack for scoring, Rodriguez. He's got 13 now, went to the low post game. We've seen him make threes, get off the bounce. That was a little post up.
So many good players out of the Dominican Republic as well. Josh Hart coming up a little bit short. Clippers trying to mount one last gasp effort here. Johnson underneath, got the finish. And here they come. They got it down to 12. look of concern etched across the countenance of Miles Simon on the sidelines.
I'm not buying that. I think he's got Josh Hart. I think he feels pretty good.
Get it to Josh, right? That's going to be a foul on Thornwell. Oh, they call an offensive foul on Josh Hart. And that's what Josh Hart thought of the call.
Oh, he's sitting there a long time.
Yeah. Call made by Jonathan Sterling. Rodriguez is going to go to work against Mikhailuk. That's going to be a foul against the Lakers. Pardon me, the Clippers. .3:13 to go. The winner here advancing to the quarterfinals. Doris, how many guards do you see these days do what Juwan Evans does?
Pick up like that?
Yeah.
Patrick Beverley.
So you count them on one hand,
You're
right?
right, no doubt, no doubt.
Something to be said for that.
I agree. You can wear an opponent down if you're in their face all night, no question. That takes a physical and mental toll.
Sindarius Thornwell with the bucket at the other end, and the lead back down to 10. Clippers got to get some stops here, though. Hart trying to go to work on Evans. Ayers with a nice catch in traffic and fouled on the ground. Timeout on the floor with about 2.5 to go. Back after this. That new number 23 jersey looking kind of sharp. In contrast to the older number 8 jersey. And what do you make, Doris, of those that used to debate, quote unquote, who's better? Do those who used to claim Kobe was better than LeBron, now that LeBron is part of Laker Nation? I'm talking about Laker fans only. The Laker fans that used to say Kobe was better, they feel differently now, maybe because LeBron is a Laker?
It's an interesting
It's
question.
complicated, right?
It is complicated. I think we got a technical foul on the floor
Again?
here, Mark. Yeah.
We had 2 of them in our game last night across the way.
Oh, it's Thornwell and Hart.
Oh, we said they were going at each other. And Ryan Sassano teed up both of them. Actually, no, it's going to go against Thornwell because only Hart gets a shot. There's a look at the guys on the floor. Evans, Johnson, Rodriguez, Thornwell, and Upshaw. See if they got one last run in them. Rodriguez got it to fall over the taller Ayers.
With a pretty good challenge from behind by Alex Caruso. Good concentration.
Hey, if you're from the boogie down Bronx,
Man.
like Rodriguez is, you're used to being able to finish through contact and in traffic like that.
But Thornwell hit Caruso hard.
Guys are going at each other a little bit here in the dying moments of this game. Lakers leading by 9. Caruso going to go to the foul line. Caruso at the free throw line, as we mentioned earlier, recently completing a stint with USA Basketball in the recent round of World Cup qualification, which took our colleague Jeff Van Gundy's squad to Cuba, and prior to that, Mexico City.
They're now 4-1, number 1 in their pool.
That one loss by USA Basketball, I want to say, is the first one since they lost to Greece in the World Championships in 2006. Think about that, 2006 to 2012. Is that dominance? 12 years of undisputed basketball by the men's senior team.
And you have made the point to me consistently that this idea that the rest of the world is closing the gap on the United States, you disavow. You think that's nuts.
I think it's false when you look at the margin of victory in every championship final going back the last 8 years. Summer League tournament continues tonight in Las Vegas on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. Atlanta taking on Portland right here on ESPN2. Coming up next, Portland Trailblazers got some dudes in that game that you'll want to see. Wade Baldwin, former first-round pick of the Memphis Grizzlies, playing really well. Gary Trent Jr. out of Duke, second-round pick, playing like a lottery pick right now. Ayers on the roll, great dime by Caruso.
Well, it's double-digit assists by Caruso now. Nope. 10 points for Ayers and 7 assists for Caruso.
Give him a minute, he'll get to double digits. Thornwell in traffic will go to the foul line.
See, Caruso has had so many pretty passes, anticipates the jump on the defense, and with the left hand delivers that to Ayers. How about that? Just one-handed off the dribble. That is pretty. Listen, I love his size. I love his defensive tenacity. There are occasions, and we have seen it tonight in terms of turnovers, where Caruso can make some tough decisions, get himself into trouble, turn it over on occasion. But he's got a real chance, Mark.
Yeah, you mentioned his size. 6'5", pretty good at that position, Doris.
Really good.
And has all of the athleticism needed at that position as well. We've seen him in a couple games here punch it on people.
Correct, and can really guard. Really smart, competitive defender with length. And again, that position, cross-positional defense.
Caruso's dad, Mike, played college basketball at Creighton. Is now the associate athletic director at Texas A&M, where Alex played his collegiate basketball. Here he is out top. Off the ball screen, getting downhill. Upshaw. Up to Evans, 11-point lead. Clippers, though, running out of time with 1:20 to play.
Get that shit out!
Good block by Josh Hart, and he told Evans about it, too. That's his second block.
Well, his ability to do this, just keep sliding until he sees the shot go up, uses the left hand to block it.
Hart with the board. Pulls it out. Thornwell going to take on the challenge here. Hart has been working on his handle here in Summer League. Picked up his dribble. 10 on the clock with 1 minute to play. Lakers are going to be deliberate here. Little step back by Caruso comes up short. And the Clippers couldn't get out of their own way literally there. And couldn't catch a break. The Lakers will retain possession with 14 on the shot clock. Casey Hill, the Summer League coach for the Clippers. Sam Hill coached the Summer League squad last year. Sam Cassell is the guy that you want to have mic'd up. I'll leave it at that. If Sam Cassell isn't talking, he's not breathing. And I say that with all affection. Caruso went up high. We were just referencing his ability to rise up and slam it home. That time, that seemed to be the intent.
I'm wondering if that hand, which he had, that left thumb had a lot of black tape on it earlier in the game. It's now purple.
He was going up with bad intentions here, Doris Burke.
Yes, he was. It's the fall, though. Does he put that left hand down? In fact, he does, yeah.
But you always want to stay in and take your free throws,
No
right?
question.
You don't come out until afterwards. Caruso at the line. We were talking about his effort with USA Basketball. That game they lost. It was interesting to watch. Caruso got the start at point guard as Hart checks out of the ball game. His night probably done with a very good stat line. Hart finishing up with 20 points and 6 rebounds. Caruso and USA Basketball got off to a tough start. They fell down 16-0 in that game, and it's a real shock playing at altitude in Mexico City with that hostile crowd. I mean, Mexico City is where a lot of the world records were set in track and field in the sprints. It tells you how thin the air is up there. Hard to breathe. It's higher than Denver. Jeff Van Gundy did a great job with that squad. Caruso sitting down with 8 points and 7 rebounds. His night over. Lakers have led this game wire to wire. Evans at the free throw line. So the Clippers will in all likelihood be eliminated from tournament championship play. We'll go to the other side of the draw.
Think we've seen the last of Gilgeous Alexander? I would say yes.
Probably here. The athletic training staff going to take a look at the game, at the left hand of Alex Caruso in the wake of this game. Doesn't hurt quite as much when you get the win.
Rub some mud on it.
Bertan Mays with 5 on the clock. Mykhailiuk on the drive. And he'll go to the free throw line for a couple more. He's got 13 points and 4 dimes in this game. You know, he played for that Ukraine national team I talked about. The coach of that team was Mike Fratello. Put together a pretty good staff of some of his former colleagues in the NBA. So not only did Mykhailiuk get some great NBA level coaching, but got some great experience against some high level competition.
I like that sky cam look right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet on those.
Pulling out all the stops here for the MGM Resorts NBA Summer League. All 30 teams, 82 games, championship round play, all culminating on Tuesday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific, and the gang in purple and gold in the Laker Nation with aspirations of repeating as champs and looking good to get it done behind Josh Hart and his 20 points and 6 boards. Mykhailiuk finishing with 15 and 4 assists. The final score 82-69. This just the first half of our doubleheader on ESPN2. Coming up next, the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Portland Trailblazers, undefeated so far in Summer League play. So the Lakers will advance to the quarterfinals. We have Cassidy Hubbarth efforting an interview post-game here as the Los Angeles Lakers finish up shooting 45% from the field and move on. As we take a look at the brackets, the winner of Chicago-Detroit will take on the Lakers. Cleveland, Houston, Toronto, Charlotte on the top half of the bracket. Josh Hart standing by right now with Cassidy.
Josh, 4-0 here in Vegas. You've actually won 10 straight dating back to last year in Summer League. You're at the top of the scoring across all of Summer League, but what do you attribute the success so far here?
My teammates finding me in position to score. We're getting stops, able to get out in transition, get easy buckets. I think that's really kind of a lot of where that's stemming from, so I got to give them a lot of credit.
Our Fran Fraschilla called you a schoolyard bully, saying you're basically just messing around with guys out here in your second year. But how would you describe your comfort level?
Very comfortable. I'm not going to say I'm a schoolyard bully. I've always had that mentality. Since I was a kid, I wanted to be a junkyard dog. And I think going out here and kind of exerting my will on these guys, that's just how I do that.
Speaking of a dog, Alex Caruso, his energy, his hustle, his distribution, how does he change the energy of the game?
Oh, big time. That's stuff that doesn't come out in the stat sheet at the end of the game. And, when you see a stat sheet, you say, oh, okay, he did okay. But if you see him play, that's really where you gain a lot of that credit because he settles us down. He gets into the other guys' guards. He gets us into our sets. And, we got to give him a lot of credit for, the success we're having right now.
You've played all the games here, and you also played back in Sacramento. You guys are off until Sunday. So how are you going to spend these next couple of days getting ready for the next round of tournament play?
I'm going to relax and play Fortnite. That's about it. It's a new season right now, so I'm about to go get some dubs. But I'm going to just kick back, relax. My parents are here. I'm going to hang out with them and, play some video games.
Enjoy Vegas. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Josh Hart out of Springfield, Maryland, with a big night for the Los Angeles Lakers, and said he was going to chill out and play a little video games, Fortnite. That's kind of what the guys do
Thought he
these
might
days.
say NBA 2K, Fortnite.
Yeah. No, NBA 2K comes after Fortnite. But Josh Hart had some help here tonight. Svi Mykhailiuk, who signed his official Laker deal just 48 hours ago, says a lot about him that he hasn't shut it down, even though he got his paper. And he's still out here trying to make an impression on Luke Walton, who sat and watched him courtside tonight.
Mark, I love the young man's game. He gets the basketball out of his hands to shoot it really quickly, but there's so much more to his game. There's the first basket of his night, but this was very soon thereafter. Navigating the pick and roll, he did that on a couple of occasions. Listen, one-on-one situation, can I shake a defender, get separation? The answer to that question is yes. He rebounds his position. He'll find other teammates. I thought he was tremendous.
Mykhailiuk showing that he's got a lot of variables in his game. Hey, coming up next, it's the Portland Trailblazers taking on the Atlanta Hawks. The Blazers undefeated so far in Summer League play. Josh having a heart-to-heart with the Clippers, and it seemed to sound like it's time for you to leave. Lakers move on. Second half of our doubleheader coming right up. Portland against Atlanta.